Okay, so page number 2, and we're on number 10. Blank is the order in which events happen in the story, and we have sequence. And usually events happen from first to last. Okay, the events build on each other. Number 11, blank is giving clues to upcoming events in the story. We're going to call that foreshadowing. Foreshadowing would be an example like someone talks to someone and then that person disappears. So the last person they talk to would be a clue that maybe they know where that person went or what might have happened to them. So I'm going to put someone disappears after talking to someone. Okay, number 12. Blank is a judgment that is untrue about a person or group. We call this stereotyping. Okay, and a good example that I always use, please don't be offended, any women out there. Women are bad drivers. Always seems to get the kids to remember what stereotyping is. So there's plenty of other examples out there. So feel free to use mine or use something else that you can think that helps you remember these definitions. Number 13, blank is a conclusion drawn from the information given. This is an inference. We infer or we make inferences not just in language arts, but in science, social studies, even math class. So an example of an inference might be a person being guilty of a crime. In science, if you do an experiment and you use certain chemicals and there's a certain outcome and you drew that conclusion based on the prediction you made initially, that could be another example of inference when we're using it in another class. Okay, number 14, blank is stopping action and shifting back in time. This is a flashback. A really good example of a flashback that I like to use is there's a book called The Cage, and it's about the Holocaust. And in that book, the lady, the main character, starts out in modern day and flashes back or goes back to Lodz, Poland in 1939. Okay. Number 15, dialogue. Dialogue is the conversation between two or more characters. Bear with me if I'm taking over the space for your examples. You probably write smaller than I do. And a good example of that is we're going to read the book The Outsiders this year. And there are tons of different examples. Probably the two characters that have the most conversation or dialogue with each other are Johnny and Pony. Okay, next, the theme. Theme is the central idea. It's the meaning of the story. It could be a lesson that you learn. A lot of times I tell the kids it's a lesson you learn, especially from fictional stories. The author wants to try to teach you something from what the characters' actions and their dialogue. So an example might be prosperity. It might be if we're talking in science, it might be weather. It might be catchy little phrases like, don't judge a book by its cover. We don't want to judge people, and maybe that's shown by what happens to a character in the story. Okay, last one for this page is symbolism. Symbolism is using one thing to represent another. I hope I didn't cut this off. Okay, good. An example a lot of times that the kids come up with are like examples of good luck and bad luck. Like a horseshoe, right, represents good luck. Here comes my Buckeyes fan. Brutus. He stands for the Ohio State or OSU. So, or, you know, a stream or a river or a house or something that happens or is shown in a story can represent something else. So if you have any questions, please go back through the video and please come and talk